There. Impressive that was from Trace Jackson Davis last night. This is the morning roast. No, this is not Bonte Hill. Bonte's running a little bit behind right now. So Sam Lubman and FP Santangelo starting the show off, but Bonte will be here soon. And Warriors get a great win over the Lakers last night to start the second half of the post-All-Star break segment of the season off, winning 128-110. Trace Jackson Davis, man, going off in that second quarter. Drops 13 points in that second quarter there. And great way to start the post-All-Star break. FP, you were at that game last night. How was it?
It's great, man. A great vibe. But how many tardies does Bonte get before he gets detention?
That is a Matt Nahigian question, so I will let him answer that one. This is one thing I always am impressed with Bonte Hill is being able to do these post-game shows after Warrior games, and then somehow still waking up and coming in and dealing with myself and Spadoni and Shasky the morning afterwards. It really is impressive. So, but yeah, he will be here soon.
He's coming in hot. He's probably driving fast right now, so we'll have him.
Drive safe, Bonte. Don't run red lights.
Probably around. No, drive to win. Don't drive safe. Put a helmet on. Run red lights. Get here by 6:30. Getting back to your question, it was a good night at Chase last night. The crowd was into it. I mean, Trace Jackson Davis. Those 13 points you're talking about came in 5 minutes in the second quarter. 17 points in 15 minutes, just dominating. Steph Curry went for 32, 8 assists, 128-110 win. Now they're trailing the 6th seed by 4 games. So it was good to see the Warriors. We were waiting for Clay to score, but he did a nice job off the bench with his assists, passing, made some big passes. Didn't have probably the game he wanted statistically, but it's all about the wins right now, man. They're playing. Everything's a playoff game now until the end of the season. So they go to 28-26. They're 9-2 in their last 11, trending in the right direction. I turned on Get Up on ESPN this morning. It's the first thing they're talking about is the Warriors and how they're relevant again all of a sudden. I mean, they're always relevant, but now they're in the discussion, and they're trending the right way. So it was cool to be there last night. I mean, thanks to Raymond Ritter for leaving a few tickets for me last night. Big game against the Lakers. And Sam, my one takeaway is they played really well last night, and it was fun to watch. Draymond was doing Draymond things with how many assists did he have last night? I think he had 7 rebounds. It's not about the stats right now. It's about the effort, the attitude. But, I'm watching the Lakers, and like I said yesterday during the show, I grew up a Lakers fan because of Magic Johnson when I was a kid, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Wasn't a Warriors guy back then. In Sacramento, we didn't have a team, so I liked the Showtime Lakers. I watched them. Last night, I knew Anthony Davis, and that's it. And I'm watching guys run around in Lakers uniforms, and I didn't know anybody. Now, I don't, follow the Lakers closely, but with LeBron out, at first I thought LeBron wasn't there. He kind of showed up in the second quarter, sat on the bench, the white hat, and I was pissed. I was sitting with Goo, and Guru and he was right next to me, and I was like, "Is LeBron here? Did he make the trip?" And he's like, "I don't know." And then finally we saw LeBron. I'm like, man, if he went All-Star break, played in the game, couldn't take an hour flight with his team. I was about to blow him up on the show today.
Just the fact that he's showing up to the bench late, but I guess
he's probably getting treatment. He's probably getting treatment. That's true. That's what I thought. He's probably getting treatment because the guys that need to play get treatment. A lot of times, if you're missing a game, you'll show up late because you're getting whatever cert fixed. But he was there. But point is, I don't know. I didn't know one of the. I'm looking at the box score right now. I don't. Davis is Prince.
You're not familiar with Austin Reeves.
I know. I know who they are, but those aren't Lakers, dude. That isn't the Showtime Lakers with Michael Cooper.
It's very far from the Shaq and Kobe Lakers or the Kobe and Powell Lakers. Yeah, I've always.
Or James Worthy or Magic Johnson or Kareem.
This is year 5 of LeBron on the Lakers now. And
Michael Cooper pulling his socks up to his knees, playing defense. That team, I don't know who Max Christie, Spencer Dinwiddie, Jason Hayes, Jalen Hood, Shafino, Skylar Mays.
I mean, this is probably why the Lakers are still hanging around the 9th seed
Whittler.
Right now,
I don't know.
Despite having LeBron and AD, 2 of the best players in the NBA right now.
I don't know these guys. Maybe I should. I don't. And I was like, that just doesn't look. How are they 3 games over? I guess LeBron.
Oh, yeah. It's LeBron and the AD effect. When you have 2 guys like that, I mean, you're always going to be in the mix. And then, of course, I think I was watching the pregame show yesterday on NBC, with Bonte Festus and Monty Poole. And towards the end of it, Monty had a very interesting take that I kind of agreed with, is this: when you have that Laker brand, you're going to start getting more calls. And I go back to that Saturday night double overtime game a couple months ago between these two teams when I think they were like plus 27 or something in free throws, the Lakers were. And I was at that game, FP. There was not plus 27 worth of free throws or free throws worth of fouls that the Lakers got in that game. His point was when you're the Lakers, you get those calls. Those calls help you get extra points. Those extra points are going to keep you hovering around the 9 seed despite a bunch of guys you don't know.
Do you think you get calls because you're the Lakers?
I mean,
Max Christie gets calls?
Well, LeBron James and Anthony Davis certainly will.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Austin Reeves certainly will. I mean, we saw it happen in the playoffs.
Why doesn't Steph get calls?
I've never understood that one. It makes no sense to me. It's one of the most frustrating and vexing things I've seen as a basketball fan. Seeing this guy, just this little stick of a man sometimes, getting absolutely thrown all over the court. He's got those scratches all over his body, and he's got no free throws to show for it. Like, if he got the whistle that Luka has gotten or the whistle that James Harden has gotten in his career, like, my God, he'd be so much higher up on the scoring list. It's ridiculous, FP.
What was the story of the game for you last night? Was it Steph 32? He scored 25 in the first half. Was it Wiggins? I think 20 points was the story of the game for me last night. He's starting to beat Wiggins again. Andrew Wiggins playing like he did a couple of years ago. All of a sudden. Was it Kuminga, dude?
I mean, I'm very big on the baby dubs, as I like to call them. TJG, Brandon Pajemski, Jonathan Kuminga. Kuminga dropping only 12 points last night. Pajemski another 10. But yeah, Trayce Jackson-Davis dropping that 17 off the bench there. That huge 13 in the second quarter. I love seeing the young guys getting involved on a night-to-night basis because, for better or worse, obviously they are the future. And Draymond said it after the game. He was interviewed by Zena Keita courtside after the game. He pretty much said, I love the trajectory of this team, and these young guys, they are bringing us to life. They are really injecting some energy into this team, and that's what you need. I mean, we were talking yesterday about finding that motivation to get up for these midseason games, and when you have guys like Brandon Pajemski who provide that energy, like TJD who provide that energy is going to translate to the veterans, and they're going to pick that up. And that's where you have nights like last night where just everything's clicking and the Warriors just blow away this Lakers team, wrap things up. Everyone starts checking out at 6 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And I was like, oh, thank God. Because your boy was tired going into that fourth quarter there. It's when you're waking up as early as we do towards the end of the week, you really start to feel it. And so around 9 o'clock last night, I'm starting to get a little, the eyes are getting a little bit heavy. And then all of a sudden I hear, Darvin Ham has pulled all his starters, and it's like, oh, thank God, now I can go to bed. But that's in part because of when you have these young guys contributing like they do, and they're popping off like they are, you get those wins like last night. That's what stuck out to me, FP. I know you were there, though. What was catching your attention there last night at the game besides the Daryl the Guru Johnson experience?
That was a good experience watching a game with him. We had a good time. Trayce Jackson-Davis, with Anthony Davis, they were pulling him to the top of the key. There was a mismatch there, and it was either Trayce Jackson-Davis with a dunk or Klay was going to be open for a three. I was waiting for Klay to score, man. That was locking into the whole six-man story last night. He didn't even get shots off. I mean, when you look at his line from last night, where is it? He attempted 9 field goal attempts last night. That's it. He scored 3 points. But like he said, he's embracing the role. But then when he came out of the game, I'm watching body language on the bench, and he's kind of sitting there and he's getting all fidgety. And when he was getting fidgety, I was watching. I don't think he's real comfortable with this. I don't think he's ever going to be real comfortable with this. I think he's telling us. I think he's trying to wrap his mind around it. I think his quotes are sincere about it, but I just don't think he's comfortable with this.
Well, I imagine it's not going to be overnight where he just becomes like he could say all the right things. I'm going to learn this new role. I'm going to accept it. He can cite other guys. Like Manu Ginobili. Steve Kerr brought up Andre Iguodala in terms of a precedent, but there's no way you're just going to accept that new rule. I mean, FP, you were around a lot of big leaguers a lot. I mean, were you around guys who, they're in the starting lineup every day and then all of a sudden they're on the bench? I mean, how well did they take it?
I don't know. Ask every Giant last year because they were either starting or on the bench halfway through the game.
There you go. So, I mean, it's when you have, he might know what his role is going forward coming off the bench. That's what you're going to do. He can say that he's accepting of that. If it takes a few weeks for him to truly come to terms with that, like, I'm not going to get mad at that. That's just human nature, at this level. You're conditioned when you're Klay Thompson your entire life you've been starting, every night.
He played 28 minutes, though. Steph's the only guy that played more minutes. Steph played 31 minutes and 47 seconds, and Clay played 28 minutes and 14 seconds. So he came off the bench, but he played the second most minutes of anybody in the game last night.
Oh, and I think therein lies kind of the rub there, FP, and this is something that Bonte's hammered a lot, and, I try to always listen to him when he says these kind of things because he's usually right on these matters. And we were talking about it last night when he was driving into to Warriors pregame. It's not about who starts. It's never been about who starts this year. It's always been about who finishes. And that's, I always try to pay attention there. Who's on the court in the final 5 minutes of a close game? And last night it wasn't a close game, so it didn't really matter who was on the court. Clay got a lot of minutes in that fourth quarter. He played 8 minutes in that fourth quarter, in part because they just didn't, it was a blowout there. So I'm always keeping an eye on who's finishing those games. Clay starting off 0 for 6, then, drains that three. You're thinking, he's found it. You know what? It wasn't a great night for Clay off the bench last night. They still won, though, and that's the big takeaway there. Slow night, but it's all good. I have faith that Clay will eventually, he'll be able to handle this bench role really well as the great Bonte Hill comes into the studio here, and maybe get a little assist here. I'll dish the rock here over to Bonte.
Sam, you just take a break now?
No, I'm done. I've done my job for the day.
Just take a break, dude. You talked a lot in like 17 minutes. Now it's Bonte's turn. Good job,
I've heard enough of Lubman.
Have a good night.
Get here, Lubman, from the bathroom.
Do your thing. Dude. Start your thing.
Oh, baby, we'll do that 6:30. We'll do that 6:30.
Okay, all right.
FP, was good to see you last night.
Good to see you.
Did you enjoy the game? You're up here talking about the Laker brand, and you're not impressed.
Dude, I don't know who these
Austin Reeves. You don't know Max Christie.
I know them.
Spencer Dinwiddie.
But it's not James Worthy.
No, it's not
Magic
LeBron James.
and Kareem and
it's not LeBron James who's just sitting on the bench,
it's not
chilling.
Mitch Kupchak.
You think LeBron? I was watching LeBron from the tunnel yesterday. There's no doubt this is his last year at the LA Lakers.
So why do you say that?
Just look at him.
And
that report with the Warriors, everything is manufactured when it comes to LeBron James. He premeditates everything. You think it was an accident that report came out last week that the Warriors checked in on LeBron James at Clutch Sports, but Clutch Sports immediately said, "Yeah, we're good." Come on, read the tea leaves. Follow the tea leaves.
What's Clutch Sports?
Oh, that's LeBron James's agency.
See, I didn't know that.
Clutch Sports, Maverick Carter, Rich Paul, they control a lot of things in the NBA in terms of agency, clients, who moves where. Like the Toronto deal with the New York Knicks was not made. It was made that way with those players because there are some Clutch Sports players involved. The Clutch was like, yeah, we're not moving our players. So whenever something gets leaked like that, and especially when it revolves around LeBron James and Clutch Sports, LeBron James had his fingerprints all over it.
So were you reading body language in the tunnel?
Body language, everything that's happened this year with LeBron James, LeBron being on the bench, his antics, what's going on with the Laker brand, player options, all that stuff. There's no doubt. But forget the Lakers.
Yeah, forget the Lakers. Screw the Lakers.
Screw the Lakers.
Dude, can I just, before we get going here, because it's early, just tell you how sexy you looked last night in your Carolina blue suit?
Did you like that?
Dude, and your tie.
Did you like that?
You came and said hi to me in my seats. I'm like, damn, Bonte. He's like, you're looking strong, bro.
You, 49er Frankie, Daryl the Guru Johnson.
Yeah, 49er
How was that? How was that? Watching the game with Daryl the Guru Johnson.
Let's just say they were checking other scores too, and I'll leave it at that. They were on their phone checking other scores. They were checking other scores last night for obvious reasons.
You're right. Yeah, we're not going to get into that. We're not going to, maybe some prize picks, maybe some bet GM. Who knows? Maybe a little Bovada action. You wager. I'm not. I'm just speculating here. But FP, you look dapper. You look dapper. You look like you were about 40 years old.
Dude, I was thankful for the tickets last night. The arena was buzzing. It was a great atmosphere. I think Warrior fans are real excited. 4 straight games with 125 points and 30 assists. That's the longest streak in franchise history.
Come on.
They're trendy. I turned on Get Up this morning. You probably heard me say that on the drive in.
I did hear that shit.
That was the first thing they talked about.
Is the Warriors.
They're
back. They might be back. They won 9 of 11.
I mean, there's not a lot going on in sports right now, but they were the lead story on ESPN today.
I mean, Lubman, he talked to me yesterday. He said, man, let's really get into the Giants. I said, what's going on with pitchers and catchers? What are we doing?
This is bad. As a baseball guy, I really don't care about spring training.
See?
Thank you. I've never invested in it. Get me to opening day, bro. When we get to opening day, I'll be fired up.
Thank you.
All these stories about so-and-so's in the best shape of their life.
Yeah, I'm not buying all this. The ball sounds so good coming off their bats right now. They're taking BP off of hitting coaches. Any coaches.
Susan Slusser tweeted that Logan Webb's starting, tomorrow? And I said, what is he on a 4-pitch count? Like, who cares? So, yes, the Warriors are the story today, and we're going to talk about the
Warriors are the story, and it's about them. I don't care who was wearing that Laker jersey. Hell, Sadell Threet, Cedric Ceballos, Nick Van Exel could have been wearing Laker jerseys. This is about the Warriors. And over the next 28 games, yesterday was 29. Now we got the Hornets tonight, right? The Warriors have the Hornets tonight at home. You can stack up some home wins. You get 3 games over 500. It's about how well you're playing and your form. And I heard you bringing that up. Defensively, they're playing team defense. They're contesting shots. They're not fouling. Lakers only +2 when it comes to free throw makes yesterday, as opposed to the +27 a few weeks ago. The Warriors offensively, how's the ball moving? Are people happy coming off the bench? Are they starting? Pods, great little 2 threes in that 17-5 run before the half to give them that breathing room to take a double-digit lead. Wiggins, 8th, 20th point game of the season. He's starting to round into form.
Why?
He looks more aggressive.
Why?
I don't know why.
He looks like
he just looks like a completely different player. Whatever was going on with him, that's the law of averages. You believe in that, right?
Yeah.
Like a baseball player, a career 280 hitter is going to find a way to hit 280 by the end of the season. Andrew Wiggins is a career 18, 19 point per game scorer who shoots over 45% from the field and can at times shoot in the mid-30s from the three-point line. It feels like the law averages are coming back. He's starting to get his money. He just looks more aggressive. He looks stronger. What about the tip-in before halftime with one hand? He's more aggressive. He's attacking the basket, not settling for threes. And defensively, he's starting to play with a lot more force. He's starting to pick up the ball and saying, you know what? I'm going to shut you down today. This is who I am. I'm a two-way player. This is what made my money in the NBA Finals. So he looks like a completely different player. You know, everybody says the Warriors didn't make a trade. But I don't argue with people, FP. You did make a trade. You got 2022 Andrew Wiggins back.
Yeah.
You have Jonathan Kuminga, who's a 20-point-per-game scorer now. And you got this rookie out of Santa Clara, Brandon Podziemski, who nobody on their bingo card had contributing to the success of the Golden State Warriors this season. So there's a lot to love. And oh, by the way, that I mentioned number 30 dropping 16 in the first quarter to set the tone. It's like Barry Bonds. You're playing with Barry Bonds. You look up at the bottom of the 4th inning, FP. Hey, damn, Barry's 2 for 2 with the walk, a homer, and a double. That's Stephen Curry right now.
Yeah, but
you look up in the first quarter, like, wow, he's already made 4 threes.
Out of the AllStar break, though.
That
was important, right? To set the tone early, just dropping threes.
That's what I'm saying.
Out of the gate.
That's what I'm saying.
Right when I was getting to my seat.
Right, you're probably late for tip-off.
Dude, we gotta get into my Uber driver getting to the arena last night. The worst route ever. I live a mile from the arena.
Why didn't you just walk?
From Chase.
You had the Gucci's on?
Well, yeah. I was with somebody that probably couldn't walk a mile.
I get that.
Okay.
I get that.
Yeah,
so you're going down in Barcadero? It's okay to be bougie. It is okay to be bougie. So you're a little slow to get to the seats. So you missed like 3 of the threes.
I got there at the start, but it just, anyways. I asked Gu this during the game. Who are the top 3 Warriors? Who are your top 3? I think the first 2 are pretty obvious, but then the third one we disagreed on. I went Steph, Kuminga, and I went Podziemski, and he went Dre.
It's definitely Draymond Green.
It is,
top
right?
3.
I think
Draymond,
I defer.
Steph.
I said you're right.
And it's a revolving door. One day it could be Kuminga. One day it could be Andrew Wiggins. Hey, dare I say, one day it could be Klay Thompson, even though we didn't have a shot last night. I want to get to him in a little bit because I know a lot of people say 1 of 9, he sucked. Look how many baskets he created for TJD and others just by being on the floor.
Dude,
watch the game.
He just wants to win, and he contributed to a win last night.
That's what he did. So that revolving door, it could be Podziemski at times. And Podziemski with that great run, the 9 rebounds, the way he skies for rebounds over guys like Austin Reeves, and he's taking charges by Anthony Davis, leads the league now in charges taken with 28. Just stack W's and do it. You know Steph's going to be the alpha dog, and he's playing like the alpha dog, dropping 32, 25 in the first half. Boom, setting the tone. Now, who else is going to come along for the ride? And right now, he's got a lot of guys coming along for the ride, FP, and it's a beautiful thing to watch.
Dude, I watched Podziemski last night on the rebounds. He had 9 rebounds.
Yeah.
He's got the Rodman superpower. He knows where the ball's going before it goes there.
Exactly. It's like this way, that way,
this way, he knows
that
it's
way.
short, and he can see it's going to hit that side of the rim, and he starts to go for the rebound before the rebound is a rebound, just based on watching the shot in the air. It's a superpower.
Yeah, people are saying, you brought up the suit. Some people said, Craig Sager swag. Rest in peace to Craig Sager. Remember him, the sideline reporter?
Dude, his stuff was out. Craig Sager's a wonderful human being. Dude, I got a story about Craig Sager on the other side.
I need that.
He's
I need
good.
that.
He's cool.
I was, man, I was trying to, it's the first game back from the All-Star break. time to set the tone with the fashion. I had the Tony the Tiger socks on. I don't know if you saw that.
I didn't see that.
They're great.
No, I didn't see it.
I had the Tony the Tiger socks on, just in case anybody was watching out there. And by the way, shout out to YouTube, Twitch, brought to you by First NorCal Credit Union. Upgrade your savings dividend. Open a First NorCal first class money market today. I'm surprised FP didn't get to sleep, man.